Just because you had a breakup with a narcissist, it doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship has ended. Many narcissists will not let you go, even whenever they are the ones who left the relationship. And even though they are with a new partner, they still cannot accept no for an answer whenever there is a Hoover attempt, no matter how small it is. They Hoover in an attempt to rekindle the relationship or stay friends after the breakup or after the divorce. And a research study showed that narcissists, they tend to stay friends with their exes for selfish reasons, obviously. They try to stay in your life or seduce and convince you to return. The term for this behavior, if you haven't heard it before, is called hoovering, derived from the famous Hoover vacuum. Because when you're finally free of that abusive relationship, they can suck you right back in. But be prepared for a bait and switch maneuver. Being expert manipulators, narcissists know your vulnerabilities and may appeal to your emotions with cries for help, romantic gestures, cards, and gifts on significant dates, anniversaries. They attempt to seduce you with financial support, feigned compassion, pleading, jealousy, sex, loving words, or promises to reform, virtually whatever it takes to get you back in line. They may send veiled messages via social media posts, arrange encounters at your local haunts, or employ their flying monkeys, friends, and families to do their bidding on their behalf. But when that doesn't work, they will use threats, guilt, and shame to wear you down. If you still have love or affection for your ex and are hopeful that the relationship could improve, you are vulnerable to being sucked back into that relationship. Victims of violence return on an average of 7 times, only to be abused again. Do not be fooled. And if you remain strong, they will show their true colors and go on the attack yet again. Why do narcissists hoover? Narcissists, they are motivated by power and they are game players, and this is just another power play. Thus, hoovering is entirely predictable because narcissist relationships are transactional. They lack empathy and the ability to see you as a separate human being from them. Rather than wanting a relationship for sentimental reasons, they're out for themselves, looking for access to resources such as sex, money, information, status, and love. And their motive is pragmatic, and their reasoning is pragmatic, and it's for their own dependency, the dependency on narcissistic supply. And they need that narcissistic supply to feed their fragile egos, which need a constant flow of narcissistic supply, constant reassurance, constant attention to avoid feeling that inner emptiness. And like a vampire that sucks its victim's blood, and they need many. Male narcissists in particular may flit from one woman to another for validation and or sex, and so will female narcissists. And additionally, if it wasn't their decision to leave, they cannot tolerate rejection. And due to that underlying shame and insecurity, they find it humiliating when they get left by their victim. Rather than accept you quit, they go on the offense and they fire you. Similarly, they often spread lies, assassinating your character and turning family and friends against you to elevate themselves in other people's eyes. Once they have left, in order to regain power and their self-esteem, they may attempt to win you back, but for the wrong reasons. They may just knowing that you think about them, that will soothe their wounded ego. If you go back, as soon as they feel secure, they'll put you down or break up with you to reverse that narrative. So what to do in a situation like this? Hoovering can be very, very damaging. Narcissists confuse you with lies and distortions to gaslight you for their own ends. It perpetuates the abuse that you have endured, and because of the prior relationship dynamic, you may be easily persuaded by false promises, gestures, fears, threats. And if you don't go along or succumb to this, You may succumb to blame and shame because you have been made to feel unworthy and lucky to have your ex back in your life. Your vulnerability is enhanced through that trauma bonding, which it makes it very hard to leave an abuser. So what are the basics? Let's talk about narcissism. I highly recommend that you find a therapist or a coach who understands narcissism and narcissistic abuse. The best way to deal with hoovering is to ignore it. No contact both protects you and helps you recover from a breakup. That includes not looking at photos and social media accounts of your ex or people who know your ex, as the narcissist may escalate that hoovering and then lose interest after a while, only to reappear again a year or more later whenever they are in need of supply. So if you have to communicate, for example, if you have business matters or children in common, there you can become a gray rock, and this removes any incentive for a narcissist to pursue you romantically, preferably communication only in writing or through an email platform with custody situations, and stay on point. Be brief, be impersonal, do not laugh, do not smile at their jokes, do not allow them to attempt to flirt with you, and be aware of idealizing your ex or romanticizing the relationship. Arm your psyche for falling against fake expressions of love, seduction, and lies about you and your relationship. Remember your unhappiness and any abuse that you suffered. Resist any attempt to distort the past. Write a story. Write down what really happened to you and why you were unhappy. It is important to tease the truth from the lies so that you learn to trust yourself again and never to question your own perceptions. Get professional help to restore your self-trust, heal CPTSD and wounds from the relationship which were triggered from your childhood. Write your feelings about the narcissist's behavior and associate them with maybe a family member and the memories from your past. If you can, make a connection, and then when you miss your ex, shift your mind to feelings from your childhood. So with that, we will move on. Regardless of the status of the situation, a narcissist will always eventually, one way or another, discard you. It doesn't matter whether you leave, they do, or how the relationship blows up. And one of the hardest things to come to terms with is this: the narcissist does not care about me and can live without me. And that is the truth that will set you free. As we experience this from their words and actions, a lack of understanding, non-existent empathy, accountability, and remorse regarding for what they have done to us. And we discover that our feelings in life mean nothing to the narcissist. He or she may even hate us now and be hell-bent on trying to destroy us. And my heart goes out to you if you are struggling from the trauma of this, because until we truly heal from this, the trauma is unspeakable. However, we may have believed that we were the narcissist everything, and that certainly appears to have been the case when we were love bombed. But what we may not have realized later is that we were necessary to the narcissist as a source of supply. And the narcissist, they are never in love with you. They are incapable of that. They are only in love with the feelings of relief that you grant them from their inner wounds. No different than a heroin addict being in love with heroin. My name is Sara Ann Brown, and this is Narcissistic Abuse 101.